Before we get to our content for today, I want to thank our sponsors. First of all, Iowa Floor Covering and their Tough Core Click Together 4.5 millimeter waterproof vinyl flooring. Right now, the guys over at Iowa Floor Covering in Bondurant are selling this at just $269 per foot with self-installation. Great value, and you'll get great service from the guys at Iowa Floor Covering. Visit iowafloorcovering.com/DIY. And also, Ascent Nutrition. I've talked about their coffee at length, but man, if you need something to get you through a busy week, start your day off with some of this Ascent coffee. It's pure, it's mold and mycotoxin free, so it's not damaging to your health. And also, when you purchase a bag of this stuff or any of the products from Ascent Nutrition, you're supporting the business of a former Hawkeye, and you're supporting this channel from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Visit goascentnutrition.com and use the code Hawkeyes to receive 15% off your total order. With that being said, let's dive into the Hawkeyes.
What was the one player that stood out the most to you?
Brian Allen Jr.
All right.
I mean, I was sitting next to Tom Kakert a lot of that practice, and he and I both just kept marveling at how well Brian Allen Jr. was playing, and he just looks like a man. I mean, this is his second year in the program. Remember, he enrolled early last spring. He's a name that wasn't on the depth chart pre-camp, but boy, he looked good, and he just was tearing through everybody. And of course, they're, again, not supposed to be hitting the quarterback. I think he would have had a sack or two today had that rule not been in place. He's got a chance to be really good. He's got the frame. Remember, he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school in Iowa, flipped him late. Got him late in the process, I think on signing day 2 years ago. So, yeah, he was impressive. You mentioned Deshaun Lee had 2 picks today. I thought the secondary played really well without Cooper DeJean in the game, albeit without Cade McNamara for half the practice as well. Deshaun Lee looked good. Jamari Harris, I thought, played well. You're trying to read between the lines on some of these things. We saw some good run out of Cohen Intringer, who is going to have a shot at getting some time at safety. We still don't know, and that's the one thing, James, I think I said this to you the other day, we still don't know for certain who's going to miss time as a result of the betting stuff. So yeah. I think it's fair to say Blom is going to miss time. Whether he's completely done, he probably is done, right? That's probably.
Wasn't he there today? I heard reports he's there. I don't know if he actually was there, but
he wasn't dressed, and he wasn't. I didn't see him.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I did not see him at all, and no. And I was on the east side. I did not see Aaron Blom. I doubt he was with the team. I can tell you, Noah Shannon was there. He was in street clothes. And I can tell you one question I had for Kirk post scrimmage was, where was Jeremiah Pittman? He was nowhere to be found. Thankfully, Kirk reassured the media he is actually at a family obligation. I guess he had a marriage in the family. So he's, because my first thought, you don't see somebody right now, you're thinking, is this another guy who's gotten hit with the gambling? Yes. And a person say, well, who cares about Jeremiah Pittman? Well, they're down Noah Shannon. They were down Ontario Thompson due to injury today. They're also down Jeff Bowie along that defensive line. He was in a sling today and wasn't dressed. So they are down a few guys on that defensive line. The good news is they do have depth with Logan Lee, with Y. Black, who's finally healthy, and Aaron Graves.
Maybe you throw Brian Allen in there now, too. I mean, obviously, I feel Brian Allen's one of those guys, too, who is versatile and can play both inside and outside. So I feel like that maybe can help him, too. But one thing, you think if it was a game, you think Cade would have went back in?
That's a good question. I mean, it depends on it depends on what game, and it depends on what point in the game. I mean, if it was
a close game, you think he would have went back in?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I was told today that Nico Ragaini, who sat out today, that he sat out and it was not a serious injury.
By the way, he's 30, so he's earned the time to not play in those. He's 30. He's been to 5 of them, so I think he's kind of earned the right to pick and choose.
And he had some issues with injuries last year. Remember, he missed part of the season. And let's remember too, James, that they are so thin at wide receiver. And by the way, here's a guy who is going to miss time. We didn't mention this at the outset, but Jacob Bostic is going to miss time. So that is unfortunate. That was kind of revealed today. So that doesn't help them. He's one of a few scholarship players who have any experience at all. So a lot of pressure on Ragaini to stay healthy, on Vines to stay healthy. And the guy that was most impressive as far as a wideout today was Seth Anderson. I made the observation to Tom during the scrimmage. it is clear that Seth Anderson is ahead of Caleb Brown right now. Like, I know all the hype is around Caleb Brown. He's a 4-star kid. Seth Anderson is ahead of him right now, and there's no question about it. Based on what we saw today on the field and based on the dialogue yesterday with the players and the coaches, Seth Anderson has a chance to make an impact right away. Maybe Caleb Brown will by the end of fall camp, but he's not there yet.
For sure, but I also agree with what you said the other day, where he has more experience in retrospect of, like, he played a full year and got time at Charleston Southern, where Caleb Brown, yes, he was at Ohio State, but he only had one catch, and didn't play a lot. So, like, he at least has the experience where he understands what it's like to play college football, and Caleb really didn't get in that much. So that could be a little bit more of the difference. Where, like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's got one. I mean, Caleb Brown's got one career catch. Yes, he got developed at Ohio State. You would have to think that would help him. And yes, he was a highly rated recruit. And hopefully that's just an indication, James, that the wide receiver room is a little bit better at the top than maybe we've given it credit for. We haven't really seen Deontay Vines without having to deal with nagging injuries. Nico Ragaini played really well when he was healthy last year. And Seth Anderson just transferred in after being really productive at the FCS level. So maybe those three guys are just going to be really good. I sure hope that's a problem Iowa has. I hope they have a problem getting Caleb Brown on the field, because that's an indication that this wide receiver room has taken off. I did not see that today, but I did see Seth Anderson make some plays, and I think he's a guy who's got speed enough to be a deep threat, and it looked like he had some chemistry early on with Cade McNamara, so that was good news.